Ballyhoo and welcome. The Passion Project continues. My name is Remedy Robinson, and this is an appreciation. This is an exploration of linguistics, language, and a bit of theatrical confession as framed by the peerless poetry of the modern-day master, Elvis Costello. Today's slow drag is with The World and His Wife from Punch the Clock, released in 1983. The songwriting is credited to Elvis Costello. If this piece were written by a lesser, or to be charitable, even just a different songwriter, we might be tempted to wonder if the events that unfold in this saucy tale were drawn, at least in part, from the writer's real-life events. I cannot speak for you, of course, but for me anyway, this sort of pondering had never even crossed my mind. It hadn't, that is, until this very moment in our slow drag. I take each Elvis Costello song on its face value, unless I'm told otherwise, with, say, Veronica, for example. But now that it has crossed my mind, I've rejected the notion and have instead conjured a vision in my mind of our modern-day master himself conjuring in his mind his own narrative whilst casually observing a neighbor's rowdy garden party, perhaps. The family circle gathers round from very far and near to pass around the same remarks they passed away last year. The little girl you dangled on your knee without mishap stirs something in your memory and something in your lap. Joy, banality, and a bit of brewing scandal come to life in 4 short lines in this first verse. The way this piece is set down is a fairly rare occurrence in the Elvis Costello pantheon in that it has an A-A-B-B rhyme scheme, near and year, mishap and lap. This seems to assist in yet another brilliant use of cognitive dissonance, a device that is found in abundance in this pantheon. But it's a living. This is the life for the world and his wife. The world and his wife. The idiom, the world and his wife, meaning a great many people, takes the place of any number of pedestrian descriptions of who these sorts of things happen to, namely, everyone. What is more, it's simply remarkable that this short chorus, 3 novel lines in total, are all in themselves idioms. It's a living helps to downplay an accomplishment. This is the life has a wonderful ability in this context to be either sincere or sarcastic regarding the current enjoyment of a particular situation. As you are probably very familiar with, the so-called live version of The World and His Wife, a slower version, has 2 additional lines to begin the chorus. The juniper berry has a very deadly kiss. I would say that something here is very much amiss. Gin, of course, is made from juniper berries. These lines at once judge the situation and explain it away. And while it changes the voyeuristic view of the original, it is still set down in an AA pattern. I'm glad I know both versions, as they help to provide different forms of theatrics. The kissing cousins step outside to cuddle and confess. She says, sweet nothing at all, it's much more of a mess. The conversation melts like chocolate down their open jaws as the juniper berry slips down just like last night's drawers. Confess, mess, jaws and drawers, which doesn't seem to rhyme in my accent, but nevertheless, we're still working with the same jaunty AABB rhyme structure. And this is another example of how we lesser poets and songwriters can learn a thing or two about a thing or two from the master. Instead of using the gin reference in the chorus, the juniper berry slips just like the kissing cousins slip out in this version. There's no judgment, just observation. To tell the truth, my mom ran off with someone else's father. Went for 2 weeks holiday in terra miscelata. Daddy without with the rubbish, and he kept on walking. Between mom and the walls, God only knows who does the talking. Father, terra miscelata. Again, my accent ruins this great rhyme. Walking, talking, still faithful to the structure. Terra miscelata, Mr. Google tells me, is made from cured cod roe mixed with olive oil and lemon juice. If there is an actual place with this name, please let me and Mr. Google know. It sounds delicious no matter what. I imagine this verse to be a conversation, a comparison of notes, if you will. Family member A, my mom ran off. Family member B, I went on holiday. Family member C is quick to cut in. My parent ran off too, but in a more shocking, heartbreaking fashion. Oh, how people love to one-up each other. Then, all family members together, between mom and the walls, God only knows who does the talking. But laytime in the evening, through the tears and folderol, come the sentimental feelings for the lore of vitriol. Longing thoughts go hankering for the old home overseas, with a blindfold and a national anthem sung in different keys. Overseas and keys, folderol and vitriol. Just because he's kept to a consistent rhyme structure doesn't mean he has to be boring about it. Folderol meaning nonsense and vitriol meaning cruelty, paired together nicely to capture the silliness of all this family histrionics. Of course, my favorite rhyme pair of Mr. Costello's is adieu and ballyhoo, but folderol and vitriol might be a close second. These words aren't just pretty faces, however. Oh no, the sentimental feeling of the lore of vitriol reminds us how they gather round yearly to go through these same machinations. It's stunning in its ability to sum up complicated emotions. I imagine you have some mental image of what a blindfold is for. I can't say as I do. I suppose I wouldn't have thought much about the national anthem sung in different keys had it not been spit out with, well, what sounds like complete vitriol. Someone, it seems, has had enough. And just one final comment on the difference between the recorded and live versions while we're on this verse. Worded a little differently, this verse nevertheless stays pretty much intact, except for the first line in the live version. Through the loud peal of laughter and the counting of scourgerars, which changes the next line, the recorded version's first line of this verse, from but to and late time in the evening. Mr. Costello and his conjunctions, brilliant. Again, Mr. Google informs me that a score draw is a soccer term, which means the result of the match where both teams have scored at least one goal and then score the same number of goals. All this talk of cheating moms and dads, it seems only apt to count up their statistics and conclude they are all equally bad.
Dig it.
Again, this has been a slow drag with The World and His Wife from 1983's Punch the Clock. So many idioms, so many messy scandals, all told in a very structured rhyme scheme. The contrast between the recorded and live versions are slight in reality, yet they both add their own particular flair. The live version is fed up from the very beginning. The recorded version throws in a bit of a fit right at the very end, maybe due to the caterwauling that's meant to be a family sing-along. Other precious gems from Punch the Clock you'll enjoy a slow drag with are episodes 11, Blow the Whistle on the Whole Design. That's a slow drag with King of Thieves. Episode 38 is Tribute of a Rose, slow drag with The Greatest Thing. Episode 60, Sotto Voce, that's a slow drag with Charm School. Episode 94, Faster and Faster, that's a slow drag with The Invisible Man. Episode 97, No Amount of Darkness. That's a slow drag with the wonderful The Town Where Time Stood Still. And that's it for today's slow drag, my friend. Thank you for listening. I'll be back soon with another slow drag, so please follow the show so you won't miss an episode. You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky Social. It's a social media platform created by the well-intended people who made the original Twitter, which I simply can't support any longer. This means my numbers of listeners per episode have gone down, but it's worth it. Nevertheless, please tell your friends so we can raise the numbers back up again, please. And as a reminder, as I continue to write my second novel, The Macron and the Breve, I've placed the audio version of my first novel, The Most Terrible Time in My Life Ends Thursday, on YouTube. Please follow the link provided if you'd like to listen for free. I know you'll love it. And as always, thank you so much for helping to get the word out about this little passion project. Truly, it means the world. So, until next time, adieu, my little ballyhoo. Slow drag with